This
podcast.
Welcome to another edition of This Random Podcast. I am your host, Rick Sanchez.
And I'm Enzo.
And today, you know what? You know what the question is? What the hell is up with Novak Djokovic?
Dude, I mean, I haven't been keeping up with it that much. I'm not the biggest.
Sorry.
I'm not the biggest fan of tennis, but I have seen that he is not being able to play the Australia Open or whatever that is.
All right, you're not the biggest fan of tennis. We need to correct that. All right, so I want to start by saying tennis is, I'm not going to say the best sport because there's a good tie for it with soccer, and I really enjoy volleyball, but tennis is amazing.
Okay.
All right, so I guess let's break down what's happening right now, like you said, and then we'll go around this. So Novak Djokovic, you're right, he's not going to be able to play the Australian Open because at the beginning he wasn't willing to disclose his vaccination status.
Okay.
Now he apparently, I think he already just came out and said, I'm not doing this. Like, I'm not going to do it. I have a medical exemption for the reason why I didn't get vaccinated. And he flies all the way to Australia knowing that the tournament accepts his exemption, but the country doesn't. So now he's sitting in a deportation center pending to see if they're going to allow him. And the Prime Minister of Australia already said, rules are rules. We ain't doing this. You ain't coming in.
Wow.
Yeah. And there was other tennis players criticizing him. And for one, my favorite tennis player, Rafael Nadal, I think the guy's a beast.
Right.
And I've been watching the guy, 2005. I've been watching him since he kind of blew up. And it's kind of the reason I play tennis.
Okay.
Sorry, a little bit man
Don't
crush
get
there.
emotional there, bro.
I know, I'm crying. My heart's beating a little bit harder. But he is criticizing kind of, Djokovic because he's like, well, you should have known better. You know that these are the rules, so you knew months ago. How is this a surprise to you? And I've never been a Djokovic fan. I've always, I'm pretty vocal with the people I don't like.
He looks kind of douchey, to be honest.
He does. And he has done so in the tennis matches, he has done things like take longer breaks because he doesn't feel good, and really he's just tired. And he'll be like, oh, I need the trainer to come look at my knee or look at my shoulder or whatever. And it's kind of messed up because, hey, you should have been training. You should have been fit. You should have been ready for the match. And that's what the other players fight about. They're like, dude, if you're hurt, you're hurt. But if you're calling the trainer because you're tired and you're just trying to buy time to get a breath, that's messed up. He's a great player. The guy, he was always good. His problem was always fitness, and he would fatigue, which brings me to the next point. In about 2010 around-ish, around there, he changed his diet completely. And I remember this because he was number 2 or number 3 in the world. And he changed his diet completely. He stopped eating gluten. He started eating more fresh foods. And he even lost weight. You can even see it.
So that was a long time ago.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so he became an advocate of health. Still didn't like him.
Okay.
But he became an advocate of health.
Yeah.
In 2011, he went like 6 months without being beaten at all.
Wow.
He would not lose. Everything he'd play, he'd win.
Yeah.
And he was beating Nadal. So I was kind of upset about that.
Right.
But it was like, you got to give credit where credit's due. It was like, dude, this kid's killing it. So, fast forward 2021. Last year, 21, he almost won the career Grand Slam, which is winning all 4 Grand Slams. He won the first 3. He won the Australian Open, the French, Wimbledon, and he made it to the finals of the U.S. Open and fell short.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, he was going to be the only man, like in 30 years open era statistics of tennis, he would have actually have won it from the open era.
Who won that one? Was that young kid? Who won that?
No, it was actually a Russian guy. His name is Medvedev.
Okay, yeah. Okay,
he won it, and not really much of a fan. Great player, kind of a jerk, in my opinion, but whatever.
Okay.
But it's interesting to see that now, 2021, he is tied right now with Roger Federer and Rafael Nadal at 20. All of them have 20 Grand Slams apiece.
Okay.
So by him winning one more Grand Slam, it asserts, because he has a bunch of records, but it asserts his place as best tennis player ever.
Right.
Because right now that fight's with Roger. Him and Roger are kind of going at it, like who's better. Nadal's like, they're all like in there. But I think Djokovic will take it. But now, because of this controversy, he may not play Australian Open. He's probably not going to play Wimbledon, and he won't be able to play the U.S. Open, is what they're saying. rules wise.
Really?
Because of the rules, yeah. The French, I guess the dirty French will allow them to go over there and play. I guess is what we're saying. But
even in the U.S.,
that's what I read. I'm not exactly sure why. Maybe they'll penalize him for not playing.
Right.
Because the number one player of the world should be at every Grand Slam.
Of course.
Unless you're hurt. And technically, he's not hurt.
Yeah.
So
are Federer and Nadal playing this Australia Open right now?
Well, Federer's not playing because he has a knee injury.
Okay.
Nadal, I believe he is playing.
He is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so he could get 21. I wouldn't really be happy if he got 21 with Djokovic not present.
Yeah, of course. It takes all the...
Yeah, dude. It's like, bro, if you're going to get it off, scalping the big guy.
Yeah.
It's like, whatever. But anyways. So it was interesting because I didn't like Djokovic much.
Right.
But I am going to say one thing I do like. I like the fact that he's sticking to his guns.
Right.
Regardless of how you feel about this, he's sticking to his guns. And the prime minister is like, well, these are the rules, and the rules have to be followed, and rules are rules. So I was thinking, what are dumb rules that we have, or have you ever heard?
Okay. I actually know a really good one.
What?
Before we go into this, there's one, I think is in Switzerland. You can't, or Sweden. It's one of those northern places. You can't fart after 6 o'clock in public. There's actually a book about it, about stupid laws.
I should have been imprisoned.
And I know that's one of them. And I know there's somewhere else. There's one. I don't know if it's Iceland or Finland. I don't remember where it is. There's a rule that is you can't board a plane that is already on the air. There's actually that rule.
Is that rule for Superman? Hey, Superman, do me a favor.
I think
if you get tired of flying around and you really want to, board the 747, do it when it's parked. Do not do it in midair, please.
Yeah.
As tempted as you may be. Wow, that's a good one.
I know.
It's a rule. It's a pretty stupid one. I was looking and I said, well, what can be some really dumb rules? And I found one here that said, it's illegal to eat fried chicken except with your hands. Okay? In Gainesville, Georgia.
Really?
So you have to eat fried chicken with your hands.
That's interesting.
And it kind of got me because my wife always, I like eating. I don't really like getting messy. I hate my hands being greasy.
Me too.
It bothers me. So I typically eat chicken with a fork.
Right.
With a fork and a knife. I'll take the meat off. And I was like, but who enforces this? And it says over here, in 2009, a 90-year-old visitor from Louisiana was arrested and charged for eating fried chicken with a fork. 2009.
Really?
Yeah, so they actually arrested somebody for eating fried chicken with a fork. Who would even think that's a law?
Yeah.
It's like, what? That's ridiculous.
That is crazy.
There was another one that over here I saw in Florida. You can't have sex with a porcupine.
You can't.
You cannot.
Okay.
So as hot as they are, as good looking as they are, you better not touch that tail, okay?
Oh my gosh, bro.
Keep your junk away from that porcupine.
Guinea pigs are fine.
Well, what?
Guinea pigs are fine.
Guinea pigs are fine. They're on the menu.
All right, cool.
That would be Ecuadorians because they actually eat them. There was dogs are not allowed to bark after 6 p.m. So your dog.
So what's gonna happen to the dog if he does?
I guess they put him down.
Wow.
Or they put you in jail. Yeah, that was interesting.
Where's
Another
that?
one that's in Arkansas.
Okay.
I'm trying to find it. There was one here that was you're not allowed to scare babies. You're not allowed to scare a baby.
Wow.
And that's all.
Are you allowed to be scared by a baby? Let's talk about something here real quick.
What's that?
Are all babies cute?
No.
Because, I'm not going to say who, but I know someone who recently, whatever. And I know someone who recently had a baby. And my friend was like, oh, the baby's so cute. I was like, no, it's not.
He looks like a mutant.
Yeah. I was like, what? Okay. All right. But I guess, can we, what do you say when the baby's not cute to the parents?
Okay. So I agree with you. I guess let me answer that question. I was an ugly baby. My mom tells it to me.
Really?
She was like, your hair was a mess. You weren't a very good looking baby, but I had a lot of hair.
Okay.
So they would always tell her, wow, he has so much hair. Oh, he's so big. they never said he's so cute. And you know what? At least that's an honest answer.
It is.
My wife and I go through that because she's like, every baby's cute. I'm like, no, the miracle of life is amazing. It's cute. I accept it. I'm like, wow, that's a baby. That's awesome.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that kid is cute. I'm sorry. Like some kids look like, ooh.
Right.
And that's, you know what? And you may think he's adorable. I don't have to. I don't have to think the baby's beautiful.
True.
So, yes, so you can't be scared by a baby. Does he go to jail for that?
I don't know.
I'm sure there's a law out there that says, hey.
Somewhere.
It's over here. It's in Missouri. Okay. It is prohibited to frighten a baby.
All right.
Okay. And let's see another one over here. Last one. It says, it is not permitted to take a lion to the movies.
Good.
Yeah, don't take a lion.
That's really good.
Whatever you do.
Can you imagine when I watch Spider-Man over there? And there's like a cameo like a lion. It's like freaking Lion King.
You're just like, can I have some popcorn?
That'd be good.
Yeah, so you can't take a lion.
Funny, dude.
So why am I bringing up dumb laws? Because you know what? I'm going to say this. In Novak Djokovic's defense, I'm going to stick by him. So here's an interesting statistic. I was looking at, so the prime minister was flaunting that he's like, well, the whole reason why it's important to keep our laws is because our numbers have been so low. And I saw, Georgia, Australia has only reported 2,301 deaths of COVID out of 609,000 cases. That is low.
That is pretty low.
That's good.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, it's amazing. But interestingly, their numbers since this whole thing started. So if we go back to March of 2020 till now, their numbers start spiking up. Okay. Their numbers of positivity rates and deaths start spiking up basically around July this year, July 5th.
Last year?
This year. I'm sorry. You're right.
Yes.
Last year.
Happy
2021. Yeah, I'm sorry. We did an episode and I'm still stuck in 2021. Time machine. So 2021, the numbers start spiking and they keep going. This is in July. So throughout the whole summer, and now they're spiking up again in January. They're much higher right now. Well, not much, but they're higher than they were in the summer.
Okay.
But much higher than they were last year.
Yeah.
Right? Interestingly enough, the vaccination rates, obviously there was no vaccines in 2020.
Okay.
But the country kicked up their efforts for vaccine in July.
Of 2020?
Of 2021.
Okay.
So their vaccination efforts went up also in July.
Right.
And they're super high right now. So what I'm trying to say is this. If they have high cases right now, they have more vaccinated people right now. So getting vaccine is obviously not the answer. If you just go by logic and numbers, you'll say, hey, before you guys got vaccinated, you guys were requiring masks and social distancing and doing all this stuff. That actually worked. So how about we actually go to wearing masks and social distancing for your benefit and stop this? You can't come in here if you're not vaccinated because the numbers don't make sense. So in my opinion, if I'm looking at this and I'm going to invest money and say, oh, well, let me look at the numbers. I'm not betting on this. I'm not putting my money in here at all. I'm going to lose.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't make sense. That's a stupid law because your numbers don't match.
Right.
So your vaccination rates are up, but so are your infection rates?
Yeah.
How does that work? There's people still dying. So go back to what it used to be. I'm going to stick with Novak Djokovic on this one, Regardless of how I feel about it, it makes sense that, hey, look, we were better off before. Because they played 2021, they played the Australian Open. He won it. They were fine. They kept distancing. And if you look over here, their numbers were low.
Yeah.
Why can't they repeat that again?
That is kind of dumb.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
So, yeah, being a tennis fan, it is kind of rough, at least for me to start seeing that this whole issue is becoming a part of our sport.
Right.
But isn't it happening like in other sports here in the U.S. too?
Dude, yes. So the NBA, I don't know if there's more cases. The case that I do know is Kyrie Irving, point guard for the Brooklyn Nets. He just started his season. He had his season debut yesterday.
So his debut was yesterday?
Yes.
When did the season start? I don't follow basketball.
He started like 2 months ago.
Okay. So he hasn't played this whole time?
No.
And he's one of the stars of that team.
So he did have an injury last season. So at some point last season, I believe. Um,